all of you. Continuing with the refreshing one chapter from the book Sky Yoga for Human Excellence, Volume 3, book by Maharshi Vedatri Maharshi. Today's chapter I have selected is chapter 5, that is on astrology and astronomy. All of us are familiar with these words. We often hear astrology, astronomy. These are very common. We use almost all the all references. We come across various references on these words also. But Maharishi has brought out certain points for better understanding and clarification on the perceptions. And there can be, or multiple times we come across certain challenges or arguments or certain objections from science saying that these are valid, not valid. So for those things, Marcy has provided a clear explanation, justification and reasoning, and the consequence of effect of these things also has been clarified in a simplified manner. He has explained. So in today's revision class, we will be just looking at what Maharshi has conveyed through his messages in the chapter Astronomy and Astrology, Transformation and Evolution of Universe. What are the aspects of astronomy? What are the aspects of astrology? Then question and answers by Maharshi. There were several questions. Normally, we come across FAQs in some many of the things. So there were several questions asked to Maharshi on these topics. Those have been answered by Maharshi and compiled. So FAQs. These are also part of the chapter where it is mentioning all the questions and answers. Okay. Now let us just go to the word or beginning where there's space, civilization, once we start go beyond Earth, when we look outside, what we see, the whole body of celestial objects, millions and millions, billions of objects we see around the space. How it started, it's not here for this. It's there for thousands of years. The Greek word astron. Astron means star, according to the Greek literature. Greek word is astron. From this word astron, astrology, astronomy. So these two things have originated. That just going looking at the anything that is relating to stars or celestial objects. Basically, we are including stars, planets, satellites, comets, anything. The celestial objects, what we see on the sky, is astron, or related to astron is astrology, astronomy. Let us look at astronomy. Astronomy is the branch of science that deals with celestial objects, that talks about physical features like size, relative distance, speed of rotation, gravitational forces, space in between what it contains. These are all the simple terms, physical aspects of celestial bodies. These are recognized scientifically. Scientific instruments are there to measure, to confirm the relative position of those objects, what is the contents of those objects, or is a kind of a gaseous body, those things, what time it takes to revolution around the parent body. For example, in case of planets, solar system, the all the objects, celestial objects, they run around the rotate around the sun. So other bodies also have their own parent bodies where they are attached to or follow a certain path. Astrology, this is the study involving interpretation of relative positions of celestial bodies and their influence on humans. That aspect is the astrology part. It's not just only humans, on the natural world. In simple terms, astrology covers the effect of the celestial bodies. This is not recognized by scientific community. However, this is a tradition which is going for several civilizations. First, let us look at the physical aspects of celestial bodies. This, if we say the transformation of the universe, the laws of revolution, the effect, then these can be understood. This is there for several ages. If we say civilization, all those civilizations have been inquisitive about knowing the effects of space. They have been wandering, they have been exploring the space. It is not that the modern science, we are having the scientific equipments, we are having a moon mission, exploring the space, mission Mars, even our astronauts, they are conducting spacewalk. But the civilizations over the world, thousands of years back, they have explored, they have thought upon, and they have cultured their brains to know more about these celestial bodies. When we say Aryabhatta, ancient Indian, in the fifth century, he has understood the concept of rotating earth. He proposed that earth is rotating. He has calculated the planetary periods relative to the sun and corresponding to the other celestial bodies, how much time it takes or relative speed, the rotation, those have been calculated and confirmed during those times. So that was the ability of those persons. And he understood that moon is nothing but reflecting light from sun, or sunlight is being reflected by moon. Coming to another civilization, Mesopotamia, Babylonians. They have considered that they are the first to record detailed planetary positions, motions, and predicting eclipses. At what time or on what day the eclipse is going to happen. They have tracked the Venus using a cuneiform tablet. They have proposed that yes, this is a 360-degree perception, and we can divide that into 12 constellation system. Another civilization, ancient Egyptians, they even has a device. They used a device called a Deccan that was used to track time. And that device was used to align the pyramids, with the famous pyramids, what we are seeing now. These pyramids were built with a precision using that device. And same, they followed the North Star. In Egyptian language, it is called Thuban. So they followed that one. And the rising of Cyrus. So all these things, they predicted that when the Cyrus is rising, the Nile River is flooding. So this was one of their observations, that effect of these celestial bodies on the elements on earth. It is not just human being, even the physical bodies on the earth, like water body, river Nile was flooding. So they had correlated that. So then coming to another civilization, ancient Greeks. Greeks are the one, they had interpreted that celestial body movements. They had calculated Earth's circumference. They had proposed a heliocentric model. Heliocentric means sun is constant center and all other planets are rotating around the sun. Basically, a sun-centered system. Whereas Earth and other planets are orbiting the sun. So this was proposed, this was conceptualized by the Greeks. They were the first to understand that. Even the word planet is again a Greek word. Planet word comes from the Greek word planetes, which means wanderer or wandering star. So they had mentioned this wandering stars. Basically, these are the stars or celestial objects on the sky, which are following or wandering around the sun, revolving around the sun. So for those things, this was named. Those were named as planet. Okay. Now the planet word we understood. These are just examples of human abilities. Why we are just discussing is human abilities to know about the celestial objects. without even having any modern devices like telescopes or advanced computing systems to know the distance, angle, and the 3D, three-dimensional visualization, all those things. There is no need of, there wasn't any such devices during those days, but they were crystal clear with the perception. They were precisely accurate with their predictions. How? This is again human mind. So the human mind or brain has the abilities. With those abilities, they were able to uh, observe the movements of the celestial bodies, and those celestial body movements were confirmed that those are precise. Based on that, those were used as measurement of time, day, date. They followed a certain calendar system saying that this particular month we have this kind of physical, geographical effects. So that is how the seasons have, all those things have come. That is how the solar calendar, day, days, weekdays, months, those have been conceptualized. We will have 365 days a year, we call it, and the different months. So all those things, again, a human brain's ability. This ability again comes when the mind is at a lower frequency, when the mind is able to perceive the divinity, absolute truth, or realize. So that is how the focus I was trying to focus is, emphasis is the ability of the mind when it is at a lower frequency to understand the truth, or truths are revealed by the divinity when the mind is able. So this is an example from our civilizations which who were not having any scientific background, but they were precise on their estimations, predictions, and on their ability to understand the celestial bodies in the universe. We'll go to a solar year, or we'll just visualize what we know from the scientific aspect kind of thing. Earth. Earth Earth is basically rotating around itself on its axis, and its revolving around the sun. The time it takes, that is 365.24 days. This is divided into 12 months. It comes to 30 or 31 days. Moon revolution around the earth is 27.3 days. This is called the sidereal month. The interesting aspect about moon is moon rotates on its axis and revolves around earth, and the timing is exactly the same. It takes 27 days to rotate on its axis. It takes 27 days to rotate, revolve around the earth. So that is how we don't see the other phase of the moon. Always people from earth will see only one phase of the moon. This even I was not knowing while going through this, preparing for this class. Few days back, I was trying to collect information. I came to know that this has a synchronous speed on its rotation and revolution. So we see only one phase of the moon all the time. We don't see the other phase. Now, there could be a query in your mind that we have come across the moon taking 29.5 days. That is the different aspect of calculating, because moon's revolution time is 27 days. But when we compare the phases of the moon, full moon to full moon, or new moon to new moon, that duration, that time is 29.5 days. So that is called the synodial time, and this is sidereal time, sidereal month. The lunar year, that follows 12 complete cycles of the moon. 12 complete cycles of the moon. That is called lunar year. Similarly, we have solar year. Because moon takes 29.5 days a day. So moon year or lunar year is little shorter. It is about 354 days. Similarly, in we know solar year, or the time taken by Earth to complete one revolution, that is 365 days. The gap is of 11 days. This 11 days of shortage, the difference between solar year and lunar year. Lunar year is shorter by less by 11 days. If we follow only the lunar calendar, so there will be a gap of 11 days every year. There will be a shortfall. Okay. Whereas the season also will change. Suppose the season, Magha Masam, what we call it here in traditional or cultural Indian system, okay, Magham or winter, that falls in winter. But if this is followed continuously lunar calendar and we do not have any link with the solar calendar, even in the month of summer also we can somewhere, summer in the sense somewhere in the month of English calendar, May, June, they can have Magh Masam, but that is not happening. Why? So there is a correction or a small gap. What is there in that? That is adjusted once in 3 years. Again, 11 days a year, the shortfall. After 3 years, become 33 days. These 33 days are adjusted to 1 month, saying in the Indian system it is called Adhika Masam. They adjust it to again match or follow the link between solar and lunar. So this is how traditional calendar system has been made conceptualized. Whereas if some of the practitioners, some of the followers of the lunar calendar, there is no such adjustment. So if there is no adjustment, there is no uniformity on the seasons. What we see, the seasons might be different. It can fall on different times compared to the solar system. So this is how the adjustment, so calendar system was followed. Now there is another query or another thought we can generally, being when during childhood and when we were not having much of knowledge, we used to wonder how this sun movement or earth movement is causing the season changes in the season. This is again, we just read, yes, it is because of the tilt of the earth on its axis, but I could not visualize. So I thought maybe I'll just share with you, also discuss with you. But I had very, I knew the point, just mentioned it, but not understood or not captured into my mind. So I thought this would be interesting to see how the axis or the tilt of Earth is affecting the changes in seasons. This is the northern hemisphere, the top. This is the southern hemisphere at the bottom. In the northern hemisphere, we're talking about winter. Currently, we have winter, right? So this is the winter season at the top. Sunlights are falling at a slanting or inclined position and little far from the normal one. So that is why at the northern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere, it is summer. In the northern hemisphere, it is winter. And when it is rotating, the tilt angle is shifting. This is what few days back or 2 weeks back we had the northern and Uttarayana entry. So that is how it changing, tilting. So from this Uttarayan entered into the northern region, this traveling into the further close. So with this tilt remaining, sunlights are falling directly or more straightly onto the northern hemisphere. It is summer in the northern hemisphere, whereas it is winter on the southern hemisphere. For example, now it is Australia, it is summer. In the month of May, June, in countries like Australia, it would be winter. So this is how the tilt axis through which the earth is rotating, this is causing the changes. During, again, it changes in the months of August, September. It rotates or tilts, it shifts to that, we call it Dakshinayana, or moving towards the southern region or southern zone. So this is actually the movement of the earth. However, the great Mahan sages of the past, astrologists of the past, they had taken reference of sun as movement. It is known that it's not that they have understood, misunderstood. They knew that earth is rotating and sun is stationary. However, for the point of reference, relative motion, for example, if we are moving in a bus and the objects on the bus we see from the window, or from a train we see from the window, the objects appear to be moving. So instead of calculating with reference to the steady object, they are calculating the objects which are moving as perception. So Earth is rotating from west to east. That is how we see sun moving the reverse way, east to west. So that is why we say sun rising on the east, setting on the west. Movement of sun is from east to west. This is just a relative motion. They were smarter enough to calculate, to simplify things using the relativity or relative concepts. And when we just go deeper into different celestial objects, these are just numbers. I'll just quickly go through the numbers. These are, when we say solar system, huge mass of several planets centered with around sun, which has a diameter of 103 plus 3 6 1.6 million kilometers, and Mercury 4,879 kilometers. It is distance from sun is about 57 million miles. So these are the ones, Mercury being the closest to the sun. Next comes Venus, next comes Earth, then Mars, then Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Pluto was considered to be a planet. Scientific community has considered this not a planet. Astrologers were genius enough from the beginning. They never considered Pluto as a planet, even over the systems of astrological systems. These are definitely not in a straight line. Just for the sake of image explanation, we are showing these continuously rotate on different virtual orbits, lines. What we are seeing, this is just an imaginary concept or conceptualized. So these are just a summary of solar system, different objects, different mass, different distance. These are all various aspects which make this solar system. Physical aspects of the celestial bodies, these are available from science. But some of the concept that these bodies have, how these bodies are formed, what are the sources behind this transformation of such a universe or evolution of this universe? This has been simplified and answered by Maharshi. The divine state, when we say divine state, this has two inherent characteristics: force and consciousness. Force and consciousness, these are the two inherent characteristics of divinity. This inherent characteristics gives rise to energy particles, or the basic life force particle. These energy particles associate to form various objects, be it the starting object, Akash particle combining with some more Akash particles to form air or fire, or the earth, water. These are all combinations of earth. Further combinations, such celestial bodies, the gigantic bodies, what we see, these are again nothing but just combinations of Akash particles. The stars, planets, satellites, these are all formations of same Akash or life energy particle. Obviously, the space between those is also filled with energy waves in the form of magnetism. These waves interact with other waves, objects, through the process of clash, reflection, refraction, penetration, and interaction. We know these five methods of wave transfer or wave interactions. Any wave will react with other waves in any of these five modes. These energy particles combine to form what we refer as pancha bhutas, or the basic elements. Akash is the particle which forms basic elements: Akash, air, fire, water, and earth. These are nothing but again cause transformations, and sensory perceptions of pressure, sound, light, taste, and smell. Human beings, these are human beings have the sensory organs for sensing these five perceptions: skin, ears, eyes, tongues, and nose. These perceive those perceptions of Panchbhutas using their sense organs. When we say law of evolution, when energy particles combine to form huge celestial bodies like a nebula, these are nothing but just vapors of nebula. Stars are formed. Divine state, because of its inherent characteristic of pressure force that rotates this nebula, even all these celestial bodies are rotating because of the pressure force from the divinity or absolute space. That rotation force gives a spherical shape. Various combinations of these energy particles and density differences that makes the differences or stratification or layers of these things: solid, liquid, gas, metals, minerals, and the heat contained. These are all contained within the celestial bodies. Be it earth, inside earth we have high heat surface or high heat elements. Similarly, even other planets or in the solar system, or even in the sky, the several other celestial objects, they have their different combinations or compositions having different temperatures. Some are even at minus 200 to plus 200. For example, we say take Venus surface changes from minus 200 to plus 200. We feel the perception that it is the closest to earth, it will be having high temperature, but it has the lowest temperature of minus 220 degrees C, because when it changes its face from facing the sun to becomes night, the temperature changes to minus 200, and the daytime temperature changes to plus 200. Such is the variation. Such is the creativity, divine arrangements, what we see in the form of various celestial objects. Sun, a star. Enormous energy of these bodies are subjected to surrounding pressure force. We feel these are having huge bodies of mass, but those huge bodies of mass are even subjected to pressure force from the divine state. These makes these bodies rotate, stay in place at one particular orbit, and follow a particular path or particular route. The other bodies which are falling or which are under a particular star, they rotate, or along with the follow the particular path around the star. Those are the planets related to that star. When we see simply the closest to Earth, the star closest to nearest to Earth is Sun. So from Sun nearest to Earth, the other planets which are rotating other than the Earth, the other seven planets, these are form the combination or form the solar system. These are nothing but again combination of energy particles. These combination of energy particles decide the mass, distance from sun, the speed of rotation, all these things. And wherever there is energy particle, there will be a magnetic field. Energy particle rotating, magnetic field is generated around the sun, around these planets. These are subject to the net energy field from the interaction of multiple celestial bodies. Now coming to the aspect from astronomy, we will be moving to astrology. There is Akash, life particle, energy field, or magnetic field. Magnetic field, when it comes, it has energy, there is some effect. So the effect part, based on the positions of the celestial bodies, sun, moon, planets, at what position, distance, angle. It is not just two dimensional, it is a kind of three dimensional. The resultant or effective energy, It's not just 9 planet solar system we see. There are multiple millions, billions of stars all around also. So the net effective energy at every point on Earth will be different. So that effect of net energy is interpreted, and that stream of study is called astrology. When these bodies and the several thousands of stars which are there, some comparatively farther but comparatively nearer to the other stars from to Earth, so that effect is the effect what is interpreted or referred to as subject of astrology. Movement of these celestial bodies, proximity to Earth, their position, and reference to other planets, not just position of Mars. If position of Mars is again closer to the position of Jupiter, the one with the higher energy or higher mass or higher force will be dictating the net effect on Earth or any object on Earth. So this is how the effect can be on the physical, mental, individual's ability, all these things. Ancient Indian astrologers, even they divided that. Other than these planets, the entire sky space was divided into 27 constellations. That is based on the lunar positions or lunar mansions are divided into 27 constellations. Those which are following the lunar calendar, from the lunar perspective, the 27 stars are categorized as 27 constellations for the based on the moon passes. And with respect to the sun, even there are other stars groups. Those have been divided into 12 zodiac signs, a group of constellations of various stars. These stars clubbed together in one zone. For example, 360-degree divided into 30-degree each. In the 30-degree region, what all the stars are, those stars are grouped together into one group. They are categorized as one Rashi. And those group of stars or constellation based on was appearing to be a particular shape. So that shape is called as the Mesham, Vrishabham, Mithuna, or Karkatakam. So these are the different Rashis. Those are recognized not just Indian system, even the Greek or the Roman system also. They follow similar concept of zodiac signs, and those are referred to as Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, etc. So these are the people from Mesopotamia, Greek, Romans. They also followed the similar system of dividing that all the stars into 12 zones. They also recognize the same shape of constellation stars. These are the things. Now, imprints produced by the magnetic waves at the time of birth of a person will affect his physical behavior, mental behavior, his emotional behavior, his spiritual abilities, and economical or financial stabilities. So these are all the effects these celestial bodies will be having. All these celestial bodies, whether it's just stars or planets or even natural satellites, moon is a natural satellite, even natural satellites also will have their effect. With their energy radiation, they affect the Earth's atmosphere and all the individuals, not just individuals, the earth atmosphere. We get the tides or ebbs, what we see is because of effect of moon. Similarly, there are cyclones with disturbances or heavy rainfall, or these are all, even natural effects are also subject to effect of radiation from the celestial bodies. This stream, astrology, is practiced for about generations of generations old people. They have also visualized and conceptualized the effect of this. This is again nothing but relative position of the celestial bodies and their influence on people. The smartness of the traditional ancient sages is they followed a geocentric position. Geocentric means Earth position is constant. This is again, or what I mentioned earlier, it is reference to Earth remaining, all other celestial bodies are rotating. That is how they considered movement of sun and movement of the moon or movement of this, keeping Earth, because the reference point is constant. We are measuring or we are referring to people or persons on Earth. So that reference point is constant. So instead of Earth also rotating, Earth is here, this is here, instead of rotating all these things reference to Sun, so they took Earth as a constant point of reference. If Earth is here, this is rotating. All the positions of all other objects were calculated using the theory of relative positions. Okay. Now, based on this topic, like astrology, there were several questions asked to Maharshi. We'll just go through the question and answers. Uh, that will give us more ability to understand the astrology part. Question one of the question asked was, why do even twins differ? Twins born on the same place, almost the same moment of time, then what could be the reason for different behavior among twins? This was the question. Marcy's answer: twins are positioned differently within the womb. The circulation, blood circulation, what takes inside the womb is also different. The time of birth is different based on few minutes will be different. Within those few minutes of few minutes of change in positions, the planetary positions differ significantly. There are millions of stars, not just these planets what we are seeing, other stars, the zodiac signs what we mentioned, these are also having an effect. Even though when we say 30-degree angle, zodiac signs, the movement is not there. They fall under the same Rashi or same Lagna, that what is the term used to. But there is a different effect on their physical, mental capabilities, lifespan. All those things will be different, even though they are twins. Simple example Maharshi gave is like the fruits of a tree. The fruits will be differing, even if from the same tree, from the same branch also, two different fruits would taste differently. So that is how twins can differ. Then another question was, why are planets Uranus, Neptune, Pluto not considered in astrology? Their differences, the distance from the Earth and sun is so far that the rays do not affect human lives. When we say, even science also says Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, so these are very far from sun. So it's not just the race, but the net effect of the race. There are several million kilometers, and the effect of Saturn or Jupiter or Mars or Sun is so strong, the net radiation coming from those celestial bodies is negligible. That is how those have been, those not have been considered, or those have been neglected in the astrological system. Uh, the other two bodies which are not considered in the astronomy but considered is Rahu and Ketu. Maharshi explains Rahu and Ketu are not considered as part of astronomy, but these are considered part of astrology, just because these are nothing but the magnetic radiation of Rahu and Ketu. These are magnetic lines coming from the sun, the kind of black hole, the life Akash energy particles, which are fading out with the energy and forming a magnetic line, the powerful magnetic line. That is why those are referred to as Rahu and Ketu. These are, and even mythologically also, if you try to correlate, Rahu and Ketu do not have a physical body. That is what the story goes. Objects or Rahu and Ketu are not having a body kind of thing. That kind of reference is confirmed. Yes, these are not an object, but these are magnetic lines or magnetic waves. That's what Maharshi provides explanation. These are not having any physical structure, emitting rays like other objects, but these are just magnetic lines. Then another question to Mercy was, what is your opinion on fasting, prayers, or meditation during eclipses? During eclipses, so there are certain practices in certain parts of culture. They do fasting or this one. For this, the answer is during eclipses, the three celestial bodies, we know the process of eclipses, sun, moon, and earth. These are on a single alignment, and based on that, the effect of us, either it's a solar eclipse or it's a lunar eclipse. But the key message here is they are all aligned. The gravitational pull from those can cause chemical changes in our body. So that chemical change can affect the digestive process. So it is advised to fast so that the digestive system or chemical changes in the body are minimized, or upsets in the digestive system are minimized. Then with higher magnetic waves, when the energy is aligned, there is no distraction, or there is no neutralization of sun or moon rays falling on earth. It is strengthened. Magnetic waves are stronger. It is advised to spend that time of eclipse in prayers or spiritual practices, which will enhance the perception of magnetism or magnetic field. So that's the purpose it was told to spend those times in spiritual practices or doing meditations that will enhance the effect from the human brain point of view. That will again conjure the conservation of magnetism will be happening with those uh, stronger waves, magnetic waves reaching. If we spend energy, the energy is spent more. So, in order to conserve the magnetism energy, this is also advised to maintain minimal activities during that part of during that duration of the time of eclipse. Taking a bath at the end of the eclipse, Marcy says there is no such scientific, there is no such significance of that activity. It's not considered, or it's not having any authentic reasoning behind it. It is just a practice, but no justification for that kind of practice. What are the effects of planets on body or organs? This is again an interesting part. We do practice meditation also, Panchabhuta Navagraha meditation. So this we will just go little explaining into the things. What are the effects of those things? First, we will go with the sun. When we say earth, the sun, then the moon, Venus, Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, and Ketu. So these are different positions. They keep on revolution, and Earth rotation is also there. The positions keep changing. Human or human beings on Earth are subjected to the net energy or net magnetic wave radiation from all these celestial bodies. Additionally, in addition to the other stars or other constellation effects also. We'll just keep focus on these things because these are the closest to Earth, even though millions of kilometers compared to others, these are the closest ones. Sun. Sun emits orange rays. It has a metabolic relationship with bones of humans. Even science has recognized this. We say vitamin D deficiency, or vitamin D is coming from natural light. This is nothing but linked to bone health. This is the one of the aspects which from astrology, this is even recognized by science. Sun emitting orange rays has metabolic relationship with human bones. Then the next one is Mercury. Mercury radiates green rays. This has metabolic relationship with human skin or skin ailments or skin diseases or effect of skin. This is because of radiation from Mercury falling on Earth, which are green in color and green rays. This can affect the human skin. Next is Venus. Venus emits white rays. This has metabolic relationship with sexual vital fluid. Then the moon. Moon radiates white rays. This has metabolic relationship with blood. Next, the next closest planet to Earth is Mars. Mars emits red rays. This has metabolic relationship with bone marrow. The next planet or the biggest planet on the solar system is Jupiter. Jupiter emits golden rays. This has metabolic relationship with human brain. The human brain, or so they call it Bruhaspati, Guru. So these are basically the knowledge aspect. That's why it is named as Guru or Bruhaspati. So the intellectual knowledge aspect, this golden rays affect human brain, or intellectual faculty of human is affected with the rays from Jupiter. Then comes Saturn. Saturn emits gray rays. It has metabolic relationship with nervous system. Then the Rahu and Ketu. Rahu and Ketu, the rays are black radiations, black rays, and it has metabolic relationship with ojas in our body. Then there was another question from followers to Maharshi. What are the auspicious events commenced at certain time on days, star positions? Before we do any major activity, we look at the calendar or panchangam. Is that how is this good? So Marcy says this originates from the practice of seeking nature's help and blessings before starting any important activity. That is the concept of Panchanga, involving five parameters that came into existence. That is the practice of invoking the blessings of nature. That's all. These are nothing, no other significance. Just we seek blessings of the nature, the divine. That is how this practice has come into, this tradition has being practiced. This is probably will be fading out slowly because people are thinking in a different way. So there is no concern, or there is no, it is just a practice of showing gratitude to our nature or natural bodies. Even few weeks back, or a few days back, when we show gratitude, that is again nothing but a celebration or observing gratitude to the celestial bodies, because of the movement of celestial bodies entering the northern hemisphere or northern region, Uttarayanam. We reap the festival, the crops. That is how the festival is observed. It is nothing but showing gratitude to the celestial bodies or nature. Another question was related to what is the concept of 7.5 years under Saturn. So Marcy says this is nothing but a transition of Saturn through houses of moon in an astrological chart. In the astrological chart, there are three segments. When we say 12 segments, out of three segments, the three segments, each segment is taken 2.5 years. So the effect, even if the, for example, we'd say 12, 1, 2, the three segments. So effect will be there, even if it is 1, the effect will be there till 2, and the previous segment is 12. So among these three segments, 2.5 years each. So that forms 7.5 years. So that is how the effect of Saturn will be there for 7.5 years. So that is one of the question, and Marcy answers on that one. Then another question, for practice of Panchabhuta Navagraha meditation, no initiation is needed. Can that be that can be practiced by anyone? Why is it so? So there was a question. This question comes from the basic background is for other forms of meditation in Sky Yoga. There are initiation. We might follow the methods of initiation for Agna, Turiya or Turyatitam. So during this practice, Mercy's answer was, during the practice of such meditations, the mind frequencies come down to very subtle levels. mind becomes one with the absolute. For this, initiation is needed. This is a special activity which needs mind or mind frequency to be lowered to a certain level, that requires guidance, and under supervision of trained masters, initiation has to be done. Whereas Panchabhuta Navagraha meditation is like a prayer to the cosmic bodies or celestial objects. It is just showing gratitude to seek their blessings or seek good effect from those celestial bodies. Mind remains focused on those celestial bodies. If we say, when we try to do meditate on sun or meditate on Mars or meditate on Venus, mind remains focused. The objects, their qualities and benefits are absorbed by the mind. If we say sun emitting orange rays, and the bone strength is, it is absorbed by the bone health is improved. So this is how mind focuses on those objects and gets absorbed. There was another question. The questioner asked Marcy, you mentioned that only energy waves are given off by sun, not heat or light. Kindly explain. The questioner is asking, you mentioned that only energy waves are given off by sun, not heat or light waves. Kindly explain. Yes, to this, Marcy, basically what his point is, sun is not radiating heat. That's what the questioner is trying to ask. Yes, this question or this answer, this point needs to be answered. That yes, when we say heat and light is coming from the sun, it is not the heat or light directly coming from the sun. The sun is radiating energy waves. These energy waves strike the object and reflect in the form of heat and light based on the object or the quality of the object. So this is the key point here. It is not that sun is radiating heat. The sun rays are containing heat or light. No, it is incorrect. The correct statement, what Marcus tells is, so the radiation energy from the sun is striking the objects. Based on the object it touches, the heat or light effect is generated. The reasoning also, scientific reasoning, yes, sun is several million kilometers away and earth is there. If sun rays are traveling through the space, then space would have been warmer or hotter, right, from earth compared to earth. Space would have been illuminated, lit. No, space is complete dark. Space is always cold because there is no object, there is nothing there, there is no radiation or no interaction of the energy waves coming from the sun. The moment sun rays enter the earth or field around the earth, the objects on the earth radiate heat, radiate light. That is how it is happening not only with earth, even the other planets. When we say moon phase, when the sunlight falls on the moon, only then we see the moon. If sun rays are not hitting the moon surface, we see darker or we don't see the moon. That is how we call it new moon, or when it is a transiently partly falling on the moon surface, we call it waxing moon. So that is how part of the different phases of moon we see from 1 to 14, and then full moon or new moon is there. So basically the sun is radiating the energy waves fall on the object, only then it gets converted into light and heat. I think, okay. To summarize, great sages from ancient times, intellectuals from many civilizations, they have explored the universe. They have established the complete understanding and movement of hundreds of celestial bodies. Even why hundreds? Thousands, millions of celestial bodies, and they have their effect on human beings and earth. Without having any advanced tools, they have concluded this. This is just because of the special ability. The divine system is possible with a, to understand this divine system is possible only with a lower frequency of mind, like regular practice of Turyatita meditation, lower mind frequency, divine secrets get revealed and understood. Even for the as a kind of prayer, it is, we follow the practice of practicing Panchabhuta Navagraha meditation on days where it is new moon or full moon for more or higher effect. Celestial bodies are formed. They form life energy particles, radiate magnetic waves on a continuous basis, and these magnetic radiations will affect all the objects which are having association with life energy particles. Human body organs, they have their metabolic functioning, which are dependent on the radiations from these celestial bodies. By practicing Turyatita meditation and Panchabhuta Navagraha meditation, the karma effect can be moderated to some extent. These are part of the celestial bodies will have effect, yes, but with practicing this, the karma, law of karma, what is there, that can be moderated to some extent. So this is the summary. I'll conclude with this. Be blessed by the divine.